The final report from the January 6th committee is being released today. In a transcript released, we learned one former White House aide said allies of Donald Trump pressured her not to cooperate with the committee. Joining us now to talk about all of this is Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. How are we doing today?
Very good. Great to be with you.
Good. I know you were on the panel. First off, what is your comment on the alleged pressure campaign by the former president's allies?
Well, we're deeply concerned about it. We want the Justice Department to look into it. And that is, we had a witness, maybe more than one, that felt that there was an effort to influence her testimony. This witness was informed that the former president would be looking over the transcripts and were they going to be part of the team? If they were part of the team, the suggestion was that there would be a position waiting for her that would give her a very comfortable lifestyle, and further concerned over comments along the lines of approving the witness saying that she doesn't recall things that in fact she did recall. So it's serious business when you're trying to mislead Congress by influencing a witness that way, and we hope the Justice Department will get to the bottom of it.
And Republican critics are calling the January 6th committee political. Is it a political committee? And if not, what is it?
It's not a political committee. In fact, we've operated in a bipartisan, nonpartisan way. Interestingly, some of those same critics you mentioned, they were the ones opposing a truly independent commission that would have had an equal number of appointments by both parties. The reality is they didn't want January 6th investigated. They didn't want us to find a lot of the facts that we did that reflected so ill and in fact revealed criminal activity on the part of former President Donald Trump. But I think if anyone watched our hearings, you would see that the vast majority of our witnesses were Republicans. In fact, they were Donald Trump's own appointed Republicans, or they were high-ranking Republicans in state legislatures, like Rusty Bowers, you just saw there, the Republican speaker in Arizona. So it was a nonpartisan investigation.
So the committee recommended Donald Trump be criminally charged for the January 6th riot. I'm going to ask you to put your Magic 8-Ball hat on for a second. Do you think the Justice Department will do that?
Well, I certainly hope that they will do what they promised from the beginning, which is follow the facts wherever they lead, because they will lead them as they led us to Donald Trump. And I also hope that they apply the same standard to former presidents that they would apply to you or me, that they would apply to any American. There should only be one standard for the rule of law. So that's my hope. We will find out, only time will tell whether that takes place. But I think to give a president or former president a kind of immunity, because it would be controversial to prosecute them, even when there's adequate evidence to do so, would be a very dangerous precedent to set.
Congressman Adam Schiff, representing the 28th Congressional District, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to your viewers.
Same to you. Thank you so much.